All right, we're talking 8-6A with South Grand Prairie head coach Laven DeLay, and coach is a good friend of the show. I know, despite being a playoff squad last year, you probably weren't happy with the three district losses, but man, the stuff you got coming back offensively, it's really got my juices flowing, and I'm not even part of the coaching staff. You won't hire me for some reason, probably because I don't know a thing about football. But with Josiah back there and Dalen as quarterback, and you got yourself a receiver coming back, talk to me about how excited you are to get back on the field here in August.
For starters, I've been trying to hire you since 2016. I think that's when we first met. So let's throw that out there. No, yeah, last year we were on a little bit of a roll, and we hit a couple bumps, and it was partly because of our opponent and partly because it was self-inflicted. But it is what it is. It's a brand new season. Um, as you mentioned, we got some experience coming back, and that's exciting. So these kiddos, these seniors, were eighth graders whenever I arrived, and so that's probably the most exciting part. Is whenever I came, I said I wanted to build a fence around our middle schools and keep our kids here, and we've done a really good job at it. And this core has been with us, and a lot of these seniors, they played as sophomores 2 years ago, so we've got experience coming back. But potential doesn't mean anything. You know that you've been around this game long enough. We got to go execute and go perform and go compete every Friday night.
That's an interesting deal, and I don't know how far you want to go into that when you talk about building that fence because that's a real thing. That's a real thing because there's not naming names, there's poachers amongst us. I remember first hearing this from Chris Ross when he was coaching at Red Oak. He had that same type of fence mentality. We got good homegrown kids here. We got to keep them here. How big is that of that is part of your job? Obviously, you're working on X's and O's and getting your scheduling straight and all the other sports. But how big is it for you to keep your guys here in South Grand Prairie?
What's huge? It's one of my fundamental beliefs is that everything starts at the middle school and a little bit below that as well. We hit the elementaries and our youth, but the middle schools, that's our foundation. That's our base. And we're not a one high school town, and we're right here in the middle of the metroplex. And so what I tell my staff was we got to go recruit our own. We're not going to go recruit outside our boundary lines. I know that's done in other places, but we want to grow our own, and we build relations with moms and dads at that level so that they want to become a warrior whenever they become at high school age. So we are very intentional, man. We go down to those middle schools 3 days a week in January, February, March, and then they start coming to us in April. And we got our youth camp in the summertime. So we are very intentional about it, and that was one of the things that I wanted to make sure that everybody was on the same page. The administration, athletic director, principal, the middle school principals. Before I came back over here, that I wanted to make sure that everybody's on the same page with me.
That's awesome. So looking at your roster now, obviously you tinker with it during the off season. You take a look at what you have. What are you excited about? And then on the flip side, where are you looking for guys to kind of step up in the first 2 weeks of practice before you get into the season?
I think O line and D line is always a concern. It doesn't matter if you're playing seventh grade football or varsity football. That's always got that. That's where it starts with me in the trenches. So um, we lost a couple last year or 2 years ago that we thought were going to be with us last year, and so we had to go. From the JV, from our minor league system, we had to promote from within and start growing those kiddos up. And so it starts right there. I think some guys are going to have to step up that have played JV before. And then the guys that have been at varsity level, we need them to be leaders. And then the skill position, we just need to go to the next level. We got some skill guys coming back, like you mentioned, with Dalen and Josiah, Cade Wallace. So we've got some guys in place, but now it's okay that you played as a sophomore on varsity, but now you're a dude. So our expectation, the standard has been raised for those kiddos. And they know it, and they have accepted that role. But like I said earlier, now it's time to go execute, go perform, go compete.
Let's talk about 8-6A here because It's interesting. It seems kind of wide open. Obviously, Coach Sam's got things going on over there at Bowie. Martin's all kinds of angry because they didn't make the postseason last year. You saw what Haltom did last year to skis in there, and then there's Lamar, some of these other squads in Arlington High. Tell me how it's going to be hard to kind of survey through that thing and get your ultimate goal, which is that district title.
Yeah, it's fun. It's exciting to think about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
I got the chills when you're talking about it because there's no off week in H6A. You know, I've been in other districts before throughout my career that I never overlook an opponent, but there's sometimes where you can say, okay, let's get some younger guys some playing time, or let's play some guys that haven't been playing. You can't do that this year. As you mentioned, Coach Sam has done a tremendous job over at Bowie. He has built it up. He is the district champ. And, Martin High School is going to be back. Have a lot of respect. Always have a lot of respect for those guys and their program and what they do all the way throughout their football program. So they're going to be back. Lamar has probably the most returning guys and kind of the biggest threat if you look on paper. Arlington High is right there with them. And then you mentioned Haltom. Haltom, I didn't underestimate Jason Tucker and the crew over there. They got us, but I think other people in our district might have. They snuck them, so they're not going to be able to sneak up on anybody right now, but they're going to be a threat. I mean, everybody in H6A, Sam Houston is loaded with talent. Grand Prairie, Coach Ross knew he's kind of turned the leaf over there, so they're going to be a threat as well. So there is no off weeks in H6A. And I mean, to be honest, I've been at the small school, I've been at the big school, and it's competitive everywhere. It is good football everywhere. But whenever you get up at this level, 6A, and we're going to probably be Division I, we make the playoffs, then it doesn't get any tougher than this right now. And that's what you want as a competitor.
Going to say you wouldn't want any other way than a tough 8-6A getting you ready for the postseason. Coach, I appreciate you joining me, man. It's only about a month away, and we're going to start kicking this thing off. I know everybody's antsy to get it going, but I appreciate you taking time to join us.
I appreciate you reaching out, and go Warriors.